Is up, guys? Today we are going to be doing a tier list for the new season, Operation Commanding Force, and today we are doing just the attackers. So today we are just talking about just the attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. We're going to be rating them from S tier to D tier, S tier being the best, and D tier being do not pick the operator. All right, Sledge, easy S tier. Easy S tier. The only problem is he has a 3 armor now. Great gun, grenades, soft destruction, all good. But 3 armor is a little rough as an attacker. I'm definitely gonna rate 3 armor as a little bit lower on the list most of the time, because attack you need speed. Like defense you can get away with being a 3 armor, but on attack you do need speed, and a 3 armor is going to be put in a situation where you're not going to be able to make an aggressive push most of the time. So Thatcher is always good to open the walls. Can never really go wrong with Thatcher. That's why Thatcher's ban rate is so goddamn high. We got Thermite. I'm going to put Thermite on the A tier, not quite the S tier. Thermite is really good, but it's definitely more situational for, you're not going to pick Thermite every single round. But if there's an outside wall, Thermite is a better op for the outside walls, 100%. Because he has the best breach. But when you're inside trying to open things, like you're just really exposed opening walls, that's why I'm going to place him a little bit lower on this list. Smoke. Nope. Ash. Ash is going to be an A tier as well. I like Ash as an entry. I've changed my mind. I thought Ash was going to be a little bit lower, but with the Sophia nerf as a 3 armor, I definitely think Ash is a little bit better because she's more definitely functions a little bit better as an entry frag, because she definitely plays like Ayana. Ayana, which is an S tier operator, plays almost identical to Ash, but you have frag grenades. And frag grenades are very, 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 very strong. So, Montaigne is going to be C tier. Situational can be really good, but most of the time it's going to be, So, it's going to be C tier. That's going to be kind of the limit for most shields, because most shields are going to be very situational. Blitz, because we're talking about shields. Situationally can be really strong and definitely game changing, but if picking them every round is not going to, you're not going to get a ton of wins out of that. So Twitch, I think that Twitch is now a B tier operator in my opinion, because Twitch is like, what do I say? The F2 was the reason why she was so strong. The F2's got nerfed to almost oblivion, so now you're having to rely on the DMR. The DMR is strong. It's a good DMR. It's probably the best DMR in the game, but it's a DMR versus a gun that shoots like so many bullets. And your utility is not very soft destruction-y. You have like smoke grenades, but that's kind of it. They definitely need to rely on more teammates, but it is nice to be able to take out traps or other types of defense utility. So Fuse, C tier, can be good situationally, but 3 armor and then good gun, but ability requires you to be very exposed, and if you're like just trying to go top down, and it will clear out a lot of defense utility, but you're not really going to get kills with this thing, and a lot of times there's other ways of doing it, and it just requires a lot of map control to use. So very situationally, it can be pretty good, but and he does have a hard breach, so you might be able to convince me that Fuse could be at B tier, but I'm going to put Fuse at C tier in my eyes currently. Glaz, another C tier operator. Glaz does have grenades, but I do put him at the C tier because I think most of the time Glaz is a pretty mid operator. That gun is just not great. Doesn't one-shot anybody. It should be like a Cali rifle, in my opinion, if to make it actually good. That would make Glaz really strong, but right now he just feels pretty weak with that recoil. Like every time you take a shot, like you just bump it up to the sky. It's hard to get consecutive shots out. And then you do have grenades, and you do have a bearing 9 as a backup. So, and Glaz is fast, so Glaz does have some options, but I think overall, picking Glaz for frag grenades is kind of like a counter to his ability to be able to see through smoke. So, yeah, Fuse also has a shield, but Fuse shield is just very, 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 very mid. So, IQ, another C tier operator. Nice to be able to find enemy utility while you're like crouch walking in across the map. But overall, IQ is just a very no soft destruction. Gun's pretty good, and you're a 3 speed, but you don't really have any utility. Can't really help your team. Like, this is a very selfish operator in my eyes, which can work occasionally in ranked. So he's drowned. Buck, A tier op. Gun is solid. Gun to me is a little rough, but I know the gun overall is solid. How many bullets it's putting out. You have a skeleton key for soft destruction as well as killing. You have a heartbeat charge and a gun 6. Buck has a little bit of everything. The Buck is a very, very, very solid up for almost any site I can think of. Blackbeard, I would say that he was D tier, except for the fact that he does have EMP impacts, and playing out of breach, he can be pretty strong. So Blackbeard at the breach can be pretty strong. So I think C tier is fine for Blackbeard, but the gun overall is very kind of mid. So if Capital, someone said they were mad that I put his Capital so low before, but I still think Capital is more like a C tier operator, very situational. The fire's basically irrelevant. The smokes aren't bad, but smoke grenades exist. If we're gone 6 in a hard breach charge, there are other operators that have that type of utility, and the gun is pretty solid. But I don't think I ever see myself saying, "Oh my god, we needed a Capital." You know, I just don't ever see myself really thinking that or saying that out loud. So Capital is not a bad op, but he is kind of a Swiss Army knife that brings a little bit of everything, but isn't really the master of anything. And you don't really have that much clear other than firing somebody out of an area. Hibana, one of the best hard breachers of the game, can open up things safely from far range and can open up as many hatches as you want. Hibana is one of the best hard breachers in the game by far. And she's 3-speed, so once you get the hatches open, play like your Ash. Jackal plays Jackal at the B tier. Jackal is really good for the roam clear. If you're going specifically for the roam clear, Jackal is an amazing operator, but Jackal overall is an operator for the grand scheme of everything. I think he is B tier because he is late round. He doesn't have that much utility to really help push people out of areas. He's good for roam clear, but up past that point, you definitely see why Jackal struggles. So Ying, I think that Ying is an easy A tier personally. Amazing gun. You have a hard breach charge, candelas, and smokes. You have a lot of support utility, and those candelas are really good for just clearing out an area and beginning, like, we're focusing as an initiator. In that first, like, domino effect starting to go. Like, Ying on Organ is, like, super strong. So I think Ying is definitely a very solid op. Zoph, I would have said was S tier, but Zoph as a 3 armor, in my eyes, honestly, she's more at the A tier range now. If she's almost B tier in my eyes because of that 3 armor. She's an entry, but she's a 3 armor. So it's like you can't really entry as a 3 armor, but Zoph does have a lot of utility with the 2 impacts and the 2 concuss. So you can burn ADSs with the concuss or clear out a room, and then you can impact to destroy utility. You have claymores or breaching charges, so you can work the ferret, do whatever, open hatches. And the gun is very solid, so I think Zoph sits pretty comfortably at A. We have Doke. Doke is another really good roam clear, but I do think that Doke performs a little bit better than Jackal, and Doke does have EMP impacts. So EMP impacts are, like, you know, used to open walls, so like Doke has a little bit more late game potential than Jackal. The DMR is rough, so I think Jackal's gun is overall better, but I think Doke's ability functions a little bit better because it's not just one person in shacked, it's everybody, and all defenders feel pressured. Even if you don't want to roam clear, Doke can be used to push people on site because, you know, they're going to be called, and that pressure is definitely annoying. Lion, I think Lion is an A tier operator. You have the EMP impacts again. Like most rounds, you're going to need a hard breacher and someone with EMPs, either Thatcher or an EMP gadget operator. And most of the time, I'm going to see one of these two being picked for that purpose. Lion has a better gun, and with EMP impacts and with his ability is nice. If you drone somebody and you hit your ability, you know that person is probably going to be there, or they're going to get marked by the ability. So Lion's definitely good to, like, right before you're about to swing somebody, so they can't really move around. Finka, I think Finka is a D tier operator. I love Finka's heals, but Finka overall as an operator is very, very, very situational on what you want trying to do. If I try to go for like a shield rush type of play, like we have a Montane and a Blitz, and then occasionally I want a Finka because just to heal the shields, I have to take that chip damage. But Finka overall, like, the guns are horrible. You have flash, but that's a lot of operators have flash. You're really picking Finka for the heals. Everything else is very mid. So could be higher because it depends on how much you value the heals. So that's up to you. Might be better in lower elo when you're not getting headshot almost every death. Maverick. Here's a tricky one. I want to place Maverick at the C tier. His gun's good. He's flashbangs. But a lot of times, Maverick is, I don't know, he's just kind of mid now. you just don't ever need it with EMP impacts out. Like, not really a necessity anymore. It used to be a necessity on a lot of maps, especially with frag grenades, but not really a necessity anymore. He is still pretty strong. If you just don't really want to make sure a wall gets open, it is nice to bring him Av. So Nomad, best flank watch in the game. I mean, you air jab a door, window, whatever. You know that they're going to get knocked on their back for at least a little bit to give you time to react. And the audio cue is very loud, so you can tell exactly where that's happening. So Nomad's always strong. And Nomad still has the broken guns that Iana got. The ARX was nerfed on Iana, but Nomad still has the broken variant that Iana had. So if you like that gun, Nomad still has it, and she has the verts. So Gridlock. Someone said that they thought I put Gridlock too low, but I just think Gridlock is a D tier operator. Gridlock is just mid. Gridlock is mid. Three armors on attack are they just scream mid to me. You can't make plays. Guns are good, but you can't make plays. Gridlock is more of a plant operator based on my conversation I had with somebody. Like, you're smoking off a site, you're throwing gridlocks all around, so they can't just like run through, and then you're just trying to go in somewhere and tank the shots while you plant. So that I can see it working, but that's a very comp situation that is going to be a lot more situational. And I do think that Osa does that job better still. So I'll elaborate on the ARX for the broken variant. Oh, so the ARX with a 1.5 scope with a vertical grip. Iona had hers taken away because it was too strong. Nomad still has that strong weapon. So got Nock. I think Nock is an easy A tier operator. I think Nock's guns are pretty mid, but grenades and the ability to sneak up on people is just extremely high, because there's always going to be people running around the map, roaming around, and Nock just makes it's so hard to do that as a defender when there is a Nock running around, because you never know when Nock's going to be around the corner just waiting for you, just taking you out as you full sprint. All right, is that everybody on that list? Then up to here, Amaru. Amaru is, I'm going to place Amaru at the, I'm going to say B tier, because I definitely see Amaru being more situationally better than a lot of the operators in the C tier. The gun is solid. You have hard breach charge, and you have, I think you have gun 6 still, and the guns are really good. And the ability to just take that map control so quickly is just really, really strong. Just give your teammates more time to just take over the rest of the map. So I think Amaru is a B tier because, you know, it makes the defenders have to think about the game a little bit differently. Amaru is more of a threat. Callie, I'm going to place Callie at the C tier. Callie is fairly strong with her gun if used correctly, but there's not that many times where Callie is like really a menace, but there are times where like someone is going off with Callie. Like that sniper is ridiculous with how it can one-shot people. So, and the ability is nice to be able to take out shields utility with your charge, as well as help clearing a wall. It's kind of nice. So Callie, definitely solid, but you know, I don't think Callie should be above C tier personally. Ace, one of the best hard breaches of the game. You can breach a wall open very safely. That's why it's going to be S tier. A lot of situations are going to require breach from far away. I think that Hibana has a better breach overall, but Ace has a better just operator functionality. Like Ace is more of a fragger because Ace just has a better gun. So if you need a hard breach, but you don't really want to have to be a hard breacher, you usually bring Ace. Like, that's kind of what I do. I don't really like being a hard breacher unless it's like Clubhouse, or I'll pick, you know, some of these guys. But most of the time, if I'm going to be a hard breacher, I'll just bring Ace. A little bit hard to open hatches, though, with that. Not impossible. Zero. I'm placing Zero at B tier, especially with the buff coming out for Zero, where you can, as someone watching these cameras, can rotate his cameras up or down whenever they want. So the camera's gonna be a little bit stronger. He does have a good gun with an extended barrel that is going to 2-shot 3 speeds to the chest. He has a Gon 6 and hard breach charger, so he has a little bit of everything, kind of a Swiss Army knife, and he's a flank watch. So there are gonna be times where you need a hard breacher, but you also kind of need a flank watch, and Zero fits that situation very, very well. So you can hard breach, like let's say you're attacking cafe and they're downstairs. You guys want to do a top down. You bring a 0 instead of, let's say, a hard breacher, because I mean you can go hard breach and open up the wall, but 0 is nice. You can work the hatches, and then you can have the flank watch good to go. Like, you know, it's definitely solid. Flores. I think Flores is an S tier operator, just super easy to just destroy all enemy utility. Definitely more of a, you can't be picking Flores when your team is playing extremely fast and aggressive, but Flores is really strong just to destroy a bunch of utility. You have 4 of them, so. And his gun is good, and he has flashbangs for the actual push. Like, Flores is just really, really nice. You never really see anyone complain about having to play Flores. It's just nice to be able to destroy all the utility to open up a path. Sometimes there won't be a path unless you can make one. Osa, like we said, I'm going to place Osa at B tier. You could say Osa might be a little bit higher, but I do actually no. I'm going to place Osa at the A tier. Actually, sorry, I gotta put her up with the other EMPs. She has EMPs, so she is more. Osa's more of the, I'm with the hard breacher, opening up the wall and playing for a plant. She has the best ability in the game to really put something down and then planting behind it. So I do think Osa is kind of like the dedicated planter in Rainbow Six. So Osa is strong, and she has EMPs and a good gun. So nothing. I mean, she's just good up. And Sens, we're gonna play Sens at D tier. Just horrible operator in every capacity I can think of. The smokes are, you're able to impact or nitro the smokes, so they're just horrible. They're just horrible, bro. Just horrible. Like, just don't pick Sense. Osa shields are ass, and then you're using them incorrectly. Osa shields sometimes win games, win rounds, compared to any other operators that don't have the same level of power as Osa. Anyone that plays this game at a decent level knows Osa's fairly strong. She's not like the best, but she's pretty strong. Okay, you got Grim. Grim is going to be another D tier. Good gun, 3 speed. Ability is completely goddamn worth. Almost. Like, you pick Grim, you're not really playing for the bees. You'll use the bees because you have them, but you don't really ever need the bees, really ever, over any other type of attacker. So, and then we're going to do Brava, the new op. I'm going to use Solus as the indicator for Brava currently. So, Brava I'm going to place at the D tier. Oh, sorry, B tier. Blah, the B tier. So, why is Brava B tier? I've been seeing a lot of people like, oh my god, she's really good, she's really good. But really think, every round, how many times do you guys see utility that you can take? You can only take better utility that is like mechanic. I mean, that's like electronic. So think of these ops. It's really strong against Captain, but like, what other operators can she like really take utility from? There's not that many. I mean, other than cameras. She's really good at taking cameras. Like, taking cameras is really nice. I will say that taking cameras is always really great. I definitely see people picking Brava to counter like an intel game, or like, you know, you've traps, being able to drone a little bit more, because she does have 2 drones as well as 2 normal drones like Twitch. So Brava does function very similar to Twitch, but I think that Brava does a lot worse at destroying enemy utility like a bandit charge, a mute charge, etc., because you have to take it and then it's destroyed. In that time, the defender can see your drone and then shoot it, and you can't instantly take it out. And there's some things that like Brava cannot counter, like a Mira can't destroy the Mira as Brava. You can only take enemy utility. And honestly, I would be honest, I don't see this being used. Brava being a little bit like, everyone's hype about it right now, but I don't see Brava being used a lot outside of comp as a counterplay. Like, they have these Maestro cams, bring a Brava, you know. I could see it being a counterplay more than anything, or bulletproof. They have bulletproof cams, Valkyrie, like, you know, then you bring a Brava to like take their stuff. I see it being more of a counterplay rather than like, I'm gonna pick Brava every round and it's gonna be good. If you pick Brava every round, there's gonna be a lot of times where you like, what are you gonna do against a zombie? You can't do anything against a zombie with Brava. You just have to run at her and try to shoot her. So Brava is strong, but very more of a counter op. So I guess there are gotta be more B tier ops, but who's the worst on A tier? and just overall practice of how the game is played, I would say the worst op in this lineup would have to be Zofia. Zofia is nice, but the way that she's played, she is an entry, and you just don't have the speed for that entry. She just feels a lot slower. There you go. With Solus up there, Solus is a for the new op. Indicator for Brava. Brava's indicator's not on here. But anyways, guys, this is my tier list for attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree, and who you would move up or down. And make sure when you say that in the comments, tell me why you think this operator should, like, I think Zero should be S tier because this, blah, 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 blah. Tell me and we can have a conversation about it. All right, guys. Till next time, hope you guys do well on your placements. And, yeah. Till next time, make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, and leave a like down below for more. Till next time.